Loyal Family Renovations, Tsunami Express Car Wash, Steamfitters Local 601, Big Fish Contracting, SVA, a professional services company, WeatherTight, and Network Health on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Hey fans, the Brew Crew are hot and so are the summer temps. Now is the perfect time to step up your comfort game with a new Carrier home comfort system to keep your home cool all summer long. Ask your local dealer about local Wisconsin focus on energy rebates and financing for qualified buyers. Turn to the experts at Carrier. We've got you covered so you can get back to cheering on the crew. Carrier, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Find your local dealer at carriermilwaukee.com.
Summer is here, and your taste buds deserve the best. Carbless is perfect for the pool, the lake, or hanging out by the fire. Full of flavor with 0 sugars, only 100 calories, and made with premium spirits. Don't just settle for something overly carbonated and those flavorless seltzers. Carbless has full flavor with every sip, not just a hint. So when you're ready to take a drink and ready to chill, Carbless is clean, crisp, and won't leave you feeling bloated. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com.
Here's a club you'll want to get into, Club Citgo. It's the super easy app that opens the door to great fuel savings and more. Sign up and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up, plus everyday savings that really add up. You can also enter our sweepstakes with multiple winners and giveaways, like free gas for a year. And Club Citgo makes paying easy with a convenient mobile pay feature. So welcome to the club where all the action is. Download Club Citgo today. Savings good up to 30 gallons, only at participating locations. Data rates may apply.
Members of LIUNA are the most diverse trade in Wisconsin's construction industry, partnering with over 900 contractors to meet the demand for a skilled, safe, and productive workforce. Their union members construct roads, bridges, buildings, sewer and water lines, and energy infrastructure. Feel the power of a career as a member of the Wisconsin Laborers District Council, where you will earn great union wages, health care, and a pension. Learn why you are worth so much more by visiting liunawisconsin.org. LIUNA Wisconsin.org.
Covering the crew all season long on WTMJ, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee at the Avenue. Here is your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
All right, you win some, you lose some, all in one day. It's a split on the doubleheader for the Brewers and the Mets. Rubber game coming tomorrow night from Queens. We've got 2 games to recap in this one. Here's how we're going to do the order of show. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Jerry Augustine is with us as well. We're going to get out of the way the loss. The Brewers lose Game 2 of this series, of this doubleheader, 7-3. They win Game 1 with a big 4-run 6th inning and win that game by a final of 6-2. So what we're going to do is we're going to recap the loss first. We're going to talk about it a little bit. Then we're going to do another highlight segment, talk about the win, recap that a little bit. We'll hear from Pat Murphy after the second game, and then look at the out-of-town scoreboard and all that. Sound good? All right, let's go ahead and recap the loss. Jacob Mizrowski, welcome to the Big Apple. Didn't go according to plan.
Ready for this?
Out of here!
This?
Run it back! Ho, ho, ho!
And this?
It is gone!
Time for tonight's highlights.
All right, Game 2 of this doubleheader featured a bullpen day of sorts for the Mets. They decided to start Huascar Brazaban and then hand the ball to Blade Tidwell for the bulk outing of today's game. Jacob Mizrowski making his debut in the Big Apple for his 4th big league start. It was a little off in the first inning. Granted, it was a 0 in the first. He struck out 2, but it took him 20 pitches. Only 11 of them were strikes. He had plenty of pitches over 100, so you're like, all right, it's no big deal. Then he gets the first 2 outs pretty quickly in the second inning. But then a walk to Brett Beatty, the 7-hitter. A walk to Ronnie Mauricio, the 8-hitter. An infield lucky hit by Hayden Senger that barely chopped over the mound. And it sets the stage for the top of the order and one of the most experienced hitters in the National League, Brendan Nimmo.
And here's a high fly ball to right, off the bat of Nimmo. Frelick at the track, at the wall, it is gone. It is a grand slam for Brandon Nimmo, and the Mets lead it 4-0.
You thought that was loud. Wait till their captain, Francisco Lindor, went yard 5 pitches later.
2 pitch. Fly ball right field. This is hit pretty well. Frelick's back. Frelick's at the track wall. It is gone. And the Mets have gone back-to-back off of Mizorowski here in the second inning. Fastball at 97 at the top of the zone. And it's 5-0 Mets.
But then the Brewers had some opportunities. In fact, a leadoff walk in the third inning to the 9-hitter. They had a chance to return the favor, but they failed to do so there. A 2-out double by Rhys Hoskins in the fourth. They left him stranded there. A 1-out single by Eric Haas in the fifth. They left him stranded there. But then finally they broke through in the sixth inning, just albeit with nobody on base.
3-2 is a fly ball out to left center field. Going back is Nimmo at the track wall, gone. Yelich goes deep. It's his 17th of the year, and the Brewers on the board. It is 5-1 Mets.
I heard you like back-to-back. Well, here's another one.
Churio. And this is a fly ball right center field. This is well struck. Back to the track. Bye-bye baseball. Back-to-back Yelich and Churio. That ball was a laser out to right center. Ended up in the Brewers bullpen. It is number 14 on the year for Churio. And just like that, it's a 3-run deficit, 5-2 Mets.
In fact, the Brewers would add one more run there in the sixth inning on a productive RBI ground out, bring the tying run to the plate with Eric Haas, but he would strike out. They would have the tying run at the plate in the eighth inning, and Edwin Diaz would strike out pinch hitter Jake Bauers. And then the Mets would add an insurance run for only their second run since that big second inning. They would end up with this final of 7-3 tonight. So, Game 2 goes the way of the Mets, and because it's fresh on our minds, I welcome in Jerry Augustine to talk about it a little bit. And Augie, let's just go ahead and start with the lead, and that's Jacob Mizorowski. And his first moment looking human in the big leagues, we all knew it was going to happen, but the velo was not quite himself. He gives up back-to-back homers, but aside from that, I point to the mistakes of what he failed to do at the bottom of the order in that second inning.
Yeah, the walks definitely killed you. But, you look at it, I think the big difference, I thought he was going to sneak through in the first inning, had a little bit of trouble, struck out Alonso, thought he'd bounce back. But the second inning with nobody out, with 2 outs, walking Beatty and Marcio, and then I thought he has a bit of bad luck. Springer hits that ball, goes off his glove, and it just doesn't make it to right at second base, where if he would have touched it, probably was a routine out at second base, would have got him through that second inning, and then Nemo got a cement mixer slider and was able to hit it out of the ballpark. But the number 5 played a big role in today's games, and we'll talk about the win with the 5-run sixth inning in the first game, but the 5 runs second inning in the second game really was the difference in the ball game.
And then furthermore for Mizorowski, the cement mixer slider that you mentioned, it just looked like his mechanics were a little bit off today. A lot of arm side misses. The slider wasn't really darting like it did. He had some trouble. What could lead to, that being diagnosed, and what did you see from afar of what was going wrong, specifically with the breaking stuff? Because the velo wasn't there for the fastball, so mechanically something was certainly off today.
Yeah, you could see Chris Hook talking to him in between innings and really what was happening. Anytime you see the ball, it looked like today he might have been a little bit of rushed with his mechanics. And what happened was his body was getting out and his arm was dragging a little bit. We saw that today where usually he really could command the fastball down in the zone on both sides of the plate real well. It just seemed like the ball to the outer half to a left-hander, inside on a right-hander, the ball was getting away from him, and he couldn't command that pitch. And that was, I thought, was the big story where he couldn't command his fastball on the outside part of the plate to lefty, inside on the right-hander. The ball was opening up too quick, and the ball was sailing out on him. That was his struggles today. And anytime that you rush with your body and your arm drags, that's what happens. It looked even when he tried to overcompensate and get the ball on the inside part of the plate, he didn't have that good velocity that he usually has, and he really had to stay back and really forced himself to get the ball there. So I thought his delivery was a little bit off. I think that was his struggle today. You could see that between innings. Chris Hook talking to him, talking about trying to stay back a little bit longer, stay back, let your arm get where it's supposed to, and everything would be fine, but it just didn't work out today.
He had 4 3-ball counts in the first 8 batters he faced today, and 3 of those 4 turned into walks. And he didn't have another 3-ball count the rest of the game. And it sometimes it just happens too late for some guys, and we knew he was going to have a clunker at some point in his big league career. It's not something to overreact to. But I wonder, and this is where I need to lean on you, Augie, the difference in days rest. Everybody's a little bit different, but all of a sudden, this is his fourth start on another different amount of days rest, right? We talked so much about Wednesday against Skeens, that being his first one on regular rest, on 4 days rest. And then today he goes back to 6 days rest. But the week before that, it was a week of rest. So it's just, how can the body respond to that much movement?
I think the biggest thing with a pitcher is trying to find a routine that suits that pitcher. And that's sometimes hard to find when you have off days and how you're going to work your rotation. But I think you brought up a really good point. I think sometimes what happens is you get too much rest, you get out there, and you try to make adjustments. It looked like today, I thought he was going to make the adjustment, especially after he struck out Alonso. And then that unfortunate play in the second inning where the ball hit his glove, and then it just didn't quite get to Trang at second base. If that would have happened, I think he could have fought through it. But these are the things that Miz is going to have to work with. There's going to be times when, depending on the amount of rest that you have between starts, your routine is going to change, and you have to adapt your routine to the number of days that you have off. I thought today a little bit, Don, I thought you brought up a good point. Too much rest, sometimes it gets out there. You get too strong. What happens when you get too strong, you quicken up with your body, your arm drags, and you don't have the good location that you really have. But these are points where he's going to have to make some adjustments. He'll make the adjustments. He's smart. He throws the ball real well. He's got a good understanding what he has to do. He'll jump back. He'll come back from that. But it's just being able to get in the game when you don't have that crisp stuff to make those good adjustments. This is something that he'll learn, and he'll learn as he pitches in the major leagues.
Yep, Jerry Augustine joining us here on 620 WTMJ. Let's talk a little offense, though, coming up on the other side of this break. Brewers fall in the second leg of the doubleheader. That's what we're talking about first. Then we'll talk about the win in a moment on 620 WTMJ.
Attention, car buyers. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, buy it now from the International Autos Group and save thousands. Current in-stock vehicles are unaffected by tariffs. Drive into summer in a beautiful new BMW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, or Hyundai and avoid upcoming tariffs. Buy now and save up to $10,000. The International Autos Group, where our ordinary needs to be extraordinary. Visit iamilwaukee.com. Savings off MSRP on select new models.
Remember mixtapes?
Mixtape? Can you buy that at the hardware store?
It's not that kind of tape.
To make a mixtape, you would dub all your favorite songs onto one cassette.
Oh, I was more of an 8-track guy myself.
You know, the new Marshfield 7000 Sulfat Penny Mustard reminds me of the world's greatest mixtape.
We have taken the latest and greatest components of every Penny Mustard configurable sofa and mixed them all together into one.
The Marshfield 7000 is the ultimate sofa.
It's absolutely stunning.
And the comfort level is off the charts.
I definitely see this sofa going all the way to number 1.
It's kind of like a greatest hits album, except you can sit on it.
The Marshfield 7000 Sofa, starting at just $89 a month with no interest till July of 2027. Through July 6th at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the July Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save now during the Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Brewers split a doubleheader with the Mets. A win and a loss. Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. If you're looking for a banking partner that truly understands your business needs, Look no further than Fifth Third Bank. With a local team right here in Milwaukee, they know how to hit it out of the park every time. For 15 years, they've been serving our community with industry-specific expertise and local decision-making that helps your business thrive. Experience the unique commercial banking value that only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. 7 was the lucky number today. 7-2, the winner for the Brewers in Game 1. We'll talk about that in a moment. And 7-3, the loser in Game 2. The Mets get that one. But of those runs today, Augie, I think the biggest story, even the 2 insurance runs that scored late in the 6th and the 8th inning. The Brewers got a taste of their own medicine today, didn't they? Because 7, 8, 9, they only had 1 infield hit, and they also drew 4 walks. And all 4 of those walks and that infield hit scored in today's game, in the Game 2 anyway. 5 of the 7 runs came from the bottom third of the order, and 4 of them reached via walk. And quite simply, Augie, you're never going to win a game when you let that happen.
Yeah, you get guys on base, you get potential for really the big part of the Mets order when you get up with Nemo and Lindor, Soto, and Alonso. That's the strength of this ball club. You had McNeil in there, who's a pretty good hitter also. You know, their top 4 or 5 guys can really swing the bat, and when you allow them to get up to the plate with guys on base, you're gonna be in some trouble. And that showed tonight in the second ball game. You're exactly right.
Yeah. So on offense, though, the Brewers. You know, I was making a comment to the folks I was watching the game with here in the Valley Sports Wisconsin studios, or FanDuel, whatever we call it now, but about that 3rd inning where you get a leadoff walk to your 9-hitter to top of the 3rd inning after that dreadful 5-run bottom of the 2nd, and you had an opportunity to punch right back. You didn't have to get all 5 runs back, but the opportunity to avoid the shutdown inning and to create some sort of offense, and you got it right off the bat from Eric Haas getting a leadoff walk, but Frelick flying out, William popping out, Yelly grounding out wasn't certainly in the cards. They were being very aggressive today against Blade Tidwell. But is there a psyche to that? Am I far off on that? Because I've always felt just getting one right back on the board after a big inning indicates you do have a chance to win this game. And yes, the Brewers scored 3 in the 6th. We'll talk about that in a second. But the failure to get a run in the 3rd or the 4th innings when they had a guy on, avoiding that shutdown inning would have been huge for them.
Well, I agree. I think anytime, especially that 3rd inning that you were talking about, Dom, you get that 3rd inning, anytime the other the team scores some runs, you come back and you score. That kind of turns that, you want to call it momentum or whatever you want to call it, turns it a little bit in your favor. And, you know, you look at this Met team, they've been really struggling. Where have they been struggling? One of the places has been the bullpen. I think their ERA has been over 6 in the last several games that they've played. But you got to hand it to Tidwell today. I'll tell you what, he got into situations after he made that walk. He got to Sal and William and Yelly. He made some really good pitches, and I tell you, I thought he was a story of the game to come in and start that second inning and go up to the 6th until the Brewers were able to go back to back on him. I thought he threw the ball very well and kept everything intact. Even though he got himself in trouble, he made some really good pitches.
And then finally, though, on a positive note from this game, as you get ready to close the book on the loss, back-to-back jacks from Yelly and Churio, who really, neither one of them really did anything in Game 1. And it's kind of, you know, part of the story of Game 1 where they scored 7 runs with virtually nothing from the meat of their order. And Churio, a little switcheroo to put Contreras hitting 2nd and Churio hitting 4th. He had 2 hits in Game 2. In Game 1, he did not reach base. But for Churio, we're seeing fewer strikeouts, but we're also seeing more fly balls and a concerted effort to go to the opposite field. I'm not worried about Yelich in the slightest. Great to see another homer for him. He's not the story. The story is getting production from Jackson Churio has been a little bit harder to come by at times. He had been in a long 4 for 26 coming into Game 2. Good to see him hit a homer. Is there anything in particular that jumps out to you about Churio's performance lately?
Well, you know what? The ability to go the opposite way. When you see that pitch that he hit for a home run tonight, that ball was a fastball up and in, riding in on him. He's so quick on the inside. That's a special talent to take a ball on the inside part of the plate like he did tonight, hit the ball the opposite way, and hit the ball out of the ballpark. I thought that was for his 14th home run. I thought that was really special. I thought Yelly's at bat was awesome. They hit the ball the opposite way, but more impressive, I thought, with the ball coming in like it was there, that idea of saying, you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, I'm going to try to go the opposite way. I'm going to use the opposite field right now. See if I can get that ball and drive the ball out of the ballpark. And I'll tell you what, that was a really good swing by a really good young hitter.
I think there are times that we, forget. It's still only year 2 for him. There's still more development to be done for Jackson Chourio. I promise you, he does not want to have a sub-300 on-base percentage all year. He still has a worse OPS at this point than he did at the end of the year last year. But he's still got some development to do. It's good to see that he's still got 14 homers. He's got a chance to surpass. He's still got a chance to be a 25-25 player. 30-30 is going to take a really torrid stretch here coming up. But if he's going to be hitting cleanup as opposed to hitting second base, you're going to need to see that thump. And maybe having guys on base for Chourio is going to help him. And I know Sal's been great in the leadoff spot, but I wonder if being somebody in the middle of this order as opposed to being a fire starter can really help unlock Jackson Chourio.
Well, I think it can. I think when you look at what he did last year, I think if you remember, Dom, when he really went on a tear, he was hitting the ball to all fields. You make a mistake on the inside part of the plate. He is so quick on the inside part of the plate. He can drive the ball, pull the ball, and drive the ball to the ballpark. But I thought tonight was really impressive. What he did, a little bit of what he did last year, is taking that pitch on the inside part of the plate, being as quick as he can, and get to that ball and drive it. It's just so much. It's not only getting to the ball and putting it in play and hitting the ball at a ballpark, but it was getting to that ball where that ball was with the quickness of your hands and driving it that way. He did that a lot last year, and when he went on a spurt when he was really swinging the bat well, where did he hit the ball? He hit the ball center to right, really with a lot of power. So I think that's something that we can look forward to. I think with guys on base, like you just said, will help him and helps him concentrate on staying inside the ball a little bit. And I'll tell you what, it paid off tonight. He hit that home run. I still was amazed when I saw where that pitch was, that he was able to hit that ball in the ballpark.
Yeah, impressive. And oh, by the way, we don't want to ignore Yelly. 17 homers, leads the team. He continues to play great ball. No, he's not going to be the home run derby, but, man, he continues to punish baseballs, and it's been a really good sign for him. So let's put a bow on Game 2 of this series. Let's get happy. Let's get positive. Let's talk a little bit more about Game 1 of this series because, hey, everything was grand for Joey Ortiz. Highlight recap of that coming up next on 620 WTMJ.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best.
With over 57 years of experience, family-owned Yutka Fence installs high-quality fencing with residential options, including vinyl, wood, aluminum, chain link, and ornamental fences. Committed to craftsmanship and customer service, Yutka Fence doesn't just build fences, they build relationships based on care, trust, precision, and protecting what matters most. Mention you're a WTMJ fan for 10% off your project. Schedule your free estimate today at yutkafence.com or call 262-859-3226.
Wisconsin's Midday News is back at the big gig. With all the music,
The Killers,
food,
give me that sampler platter,
sights and sounds.
I'll see you on the Sky Glider
that Summerfest has to offer.
Tune in each Thursday of the festival from noon to 3 to hear me, Greg Matzik,
and me, Jessica Ty,
broadcasting live from the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio.
It's Wisconsin's Midday News, live from Summerfest.
Over 60 years in business, with over 60 vehicles out in the field so we can respond ultra quickly to your emergency AC needs. When you call Quality for emergency AC service, you can count on a swift response to get the job done right away. So if the heat's got you to the point where it's just too hot to handle, call Quality and we'll get you the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electric. Your air conditioner isn't keeping up. Now it's time to upgrade to Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're offering $1,500 off of a new central air system now through the end of July. Stay cool, save money, and trust the team that's been keeping Wisconsin comfortable for over a century. Visit Cider.com to schedule your free estimate. With Jerry Augustine, I'm Dom Cotroneo. Well, hey, we got twice the fun. We got another game to recap because this one started out fast and furious. Sal Frelick in the Big Apple. Let's jump into it.
Ready for this?
Out of here!
This?
Brought it back! Ho, ho, ho!
And this?
It is gone!
Time for tonight's highlights.
So game one of this doubleheader was Clay Holmes, who's been the most consistent starter for the Mets this year, against Freddie Peralta, the opening day starter for the Crew. 2 pitches into this one, the scoreboard already changed.
Inverted reliever having an all-star quality season so far as Sal gets into one out to right. Marte is back at the track. It is gone. Sal Frelick goes deep, and the Brewers on the board. It is 1-0 Milwaukee, as Juan Soto gave it nothing more than a cursory glance out in right. And Sal Frelick's power surge continues, his 6th of the season.
And it is his first career leadoff home run. So they give Freddie Peralta a lead to deal with. He retired the first 6 batters of this contest, but it took 39 pitches to do so. Then his first self-inflicted wound came in the 3rd and 4th innings. A leadoff hit by pitch to Jeff McNeil. They manufacture a run with a hit and run and a sac fly. Then in the 4th, a leadoff walk to Juan Soto. He lost track of him. He stole second. Then Alonso hits a base hit up the middle. So the Mets take a 2-1 lead, and the Brewers had a big opportunity in the top half of that 4th inning. Bases loaded, 1 out for Joey Ortiz. And on the first pitch he saw from Holmes, he grounded into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play. But baseball has a way of redeeming herself. More on that later. The Brewers get another rally going in the 6th inning. Yelly draws a leadoff walk. With 1 out, Terang is due up. The starter, Clay Holmes, is done for the day. They go to their reverse split specialist, Reed Garrett, to try to get the lefty out.
And Bryce lines one down the left field line. That's a base hit. It's going to roll all the way into the corner. Yelich streaking around third. They're sending him home, and he's in there standing up as the Brewers tie it on an RBI double from Bryce Terang. It is 2-2.
All right, all tied, and then it restarts another rally for the Crew. Isaac Collins, line drive single to the left. He had a great first game today. Line drive single puts runners on the corners. A walk to Jake Bowers on a count that was 0-2 to 3-2. And hey, here's that redemption chance. He works the count to 3-1. Joey Ortiz once again with the bases loaded.
3-1. And a fly ball down the left field line. Back at the track. It is gone. Joey Ortiz. Big fly for a grand slam in New York.
Huge call, huge moment. Brewers took the lead. Did not look back from there. Even a home run from Isaac Collins in the 8th inning for some insurance. And the Brewers would win game 1 of this doubleheader by a 7-2 score. So, Augie, it's got to start with Joey Ortiz here. With the situation that it was in the 4th inning, a tied game 1-1, 3 consecutive walks from Clay Holmes sets the stage for Joey, and he's been swinging a hot bat as of late. And, you know, you have the mound visit for the Mets to figure out what you're going to do, and I think in that moment, that mound visit was all about, hey, you're a sinker baller. Throw a dang sinker, and you're going to get out of it. And on the first pitch, you know, to borrow a phrase from Pat Murphy, that's the number 1 taser candidate moment right there. It's like you're swinging at a first-pitch sinker on a sinker baller with the bases loaded and 1 out. But thank goodness he was able to redeem himself.
Yeah, I agree. I tell you what, he did. Holmes looked like he was having a little bit of a problem there, and got the mound visit. Boy, that pitch was a good pitch down. I don't think Ortiz could do anything about it. If he did swing at that first pitch, then hitting the ball on the ground is really a good sinker ball pitcher hitting the double play, but thank God he was able to come up the next inning and rectify everything that he did by hitting in the double play.
I think with Joey right now, to see him have both failure and success, like virtually simultaneously, right? It's great to see him swing the bat better, but it's also just sort of, you could see the mental battle with him at times of knowing how much talent he has, and quite frankly, I've obviously staked my wagon to him of saying he was my pick to click at the start of the year coming out of spring training. It has not gone according to that plan so far this year. But given where he was just a month ago. You know, an OPS that was in the 400s, and he's gained 100 points on that in just about a month's time. He's up to 6 homers, and quite frankly, Augie, I think what's kind of wild, and maybe this is more of a reflection of the name I'm about to say, if I told you that Joey Ortiz and William Contreras were going to have the same amount of home runs on July 2nd, what would you have said to me?
I would say that isn't going to happen, because no way would you see Ortiz be at where Contreras is. But, you know, we talk about adjustments so much now. You and I, when we talk about our pitchers making adjustments on the mound and doing things. I thought Joey really did an excellent job of making an adjustment in that game. He knew he hit into double play. He was overly aggressive that first pitch, and Holmes made a nice sinking fastball, and he hit it on the ground for a double play. That when he came up the next at bat, when he came in to face the specialist, he was patient. He worked the count. He worked the count to where he was going to get a good pitch. He got a pitch down the middle of the plate, and boy, he put a really good swing for his first career grand slam, and really the difference in the ball game.
The unfortunate part of Game 2 today for Bryce Terang is that his hitting streak and his on-base streak are snapped at 14, but he had a great Game 1 with a walk and the opposite field double like you're talking about there too. But for this tandem of Sal Frelick and Bryce Terang, ever since that switch back on June 12th, putting Sal in the leadoff spot and Bryce Terang batting 5th, it's a stroke of genius. Give Murph and the front office all the credit in the world. Sal goes yard for a leadoff shot, and Bryce Terang delivers a game-tying RBI. I mean, it's 2 leadoff guys in 2 very important spots in the order to add length to the rest of this club.
Yeah, he just said earlier with Sal playing a little bit deeper in the order, it kind of worked the same way. But he's just so patient at the plate. When you look at it, you got to say Bryce Terang is always patient. He always goes to the plate. He looks at good pitches to hit, drives the ball to all fields, and he can drive the ball out of the ballpark when he has to. But when you look at what Sal does at the plate, very patient at the plate, looks to work a count, make the pitcher throw a lot of pitches, and I think that's been a big difference in this batting order with him at the leadoff spot. And today he got his first leadoff home run. That was really great to see. But he adds a little substance to this order when him at the beginning order getting on base. He's been swinging the bat very well. It's made a big difference. And you put Bryce Terang deeper in the batting order where he can use his abilities to drive some runs in, give you those good at-bats. Like you said, these are 2 guys that are interchangeable, but they both do such a great job, and it's really showing up for this Brewer Ball Club right now.
I'm going to keep you for one more quick segment because we do got to talk about Freddie Peralta. Oh, by the way, a quality start for Freddie. And it wasn't even perfect, but yet it still was very Freddie Peralta. We'll talk about that next here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
The new fractured boulders we now have in stock are really nice. They're squarer and more rectangular in shape, and they're great for building dry-laid retaining walls. They're much easier to deal with, lock together nicely, and you get less gaps. No wet mortar needed. And we've stocked a multitude of colors. You can use them as an accent item to add character to your dry river or creek beds, too. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our organic mulch is comprised of all trees. Most mulch is made from ground-up pallets, and you don't know what might have been spilled on those pallets. Could be chemicals or who knows what. But not our mulch. We're recycling trees. Many species of hardwoods. Cedar, hemlock, light brown, dark brown, mocha, black, red, gold, and caramel. 7 colors to choose from means a mulch to match any exterior. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Get in on Brewers and Nationals action July 11th through the 13th. Celebrate with the crew at the Negro Leagues Tribute Game on the 11th and get a 90s throwback jersey on the 12th. Get your seats now at Brewers.com.
An unsuspecting driver at a gas station in Wisconsin.
Welcome, Pump 15. How you doing?
Great.
Were you wearing your seatbelt today?
I never wear my seatbelt.
We're going to get him. We're going to get him real good.
Oh, my goodness.
Hello, sir. How you doing? Donald Driver. It takes 1 second to strap a seatbelt on. Well, let's do this. Let's do it together. Now, don't that feel better?
Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways.
And I should have recognized your voice when you're harassing.
I'm watching you.
Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers Extra Innings is also brought to you by International Autos Group. Player of the game has to be Isaac Collins for that 4-for-4 in Game 1. International Autos Group, just like the game's MVP, you can drive in the summer in style and save up to $10,000 on in-stock BMWs, Audis, Mercedes-Benz, and more. No tariffs, just huge savings. Visit IAMilwaukee.com. International Autos Group, where ordinary needs to be extraordinary. With Jerry Augustine, I'm Dom Cotroneo. Hey, I can't let you go without talking about Freddie because, this was going to be a really tough decision for Pat Murphy to set the stage heading into that 6th inning, right? He's getting ready to face Starling Marte, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso for a 3rd time through in the bottom of the 6th inning. And at the time, the Brewers were trailing 2-1. And at the time, Freddie had 84 pitches. And it had been a labor of love at that point, but he hadn't pitched that poorly. And now, obviously, the Brewers scored 5 runs in that 6th inning and made the decision easy for Pat Murphy. But for Freddie today, the 2 times he made a mistake, and this kind of goes back to what we talked about in Game 2's loss, where you had 4 walks at the bottom of the order. They all came around to score. The marginal mistakes that Freddie made in this game, hitting Jeff McNeil with 2 strikes to lead off the 3rd inning, he comes around to score. And then a leadoff walk to Soto normally isn't the end of the world, but allowing him to steal while losing sight of him and losing track of him taking his big lead, and then going from 0-2 to 3-2 on Pete Alonso, those little things add up. And this could have been 6 shutout innings today for Freddie Peralta, but we're splitting hairs there, Augie. I thought overall to get 6 strikeouts really wasn't in grave danger at any point today. I'm really, really happy with what we saw from Freddie.
Yeah, I thought he really battled today. I thought when you look at Freddie, I also sometimes call him the carnival because he's got that great fastball, and then when he gets his breaking ball and his slider, he'll throw a changeup occasionally. He'll throw you everything. It seems like when he has that great command of the fastball, he's got that confidence in his secondary pitches. He goes right after you. I thought today he really battled. He did make some mistakes. He did make mistakes with the walks with Soto and McNeil, and that hurt him a little bit. Otherwise, he would have had the 6 shutout innings. But I really like that Murph let him go out for that 6th inning. I thought it was huge for Freddie to go out and take that next step, where we had some questions on a couple of times prior that he didn't let him go out there. But I thought that he went out to that 6th inning, threw the ball really, really well, and then put 100 pitches in the game. Now, you look at his pitch percentage. I always watch Freddie, and usually he's around that 64 to 68%. He's right around 60%. That means, boy, a little bit more aggressive, wasn't in the strike zone like he usually is. But I thought he threw the ball very well and gave the Brewers a needed outing, a good quality start. That's exactly what the Brewers needed since they were playing 2 games today. And Freddie went out there and did just that.
If we can talk about tomorrow's game briefly, is the fact that Freddie, like you're talking about, for him to go 6 today, and I think Murph would have leaned, even if they were down 2-1 heading to the bottom of that 6th inning, I think Murph would have sent Freddie back out there because of the fact that the Brewers then obviously had the chance to add on, and they didn't have to use really any leverage in that game aside from Nick Mears, but they wanted to use him in that game. To have Hall finish that game I thought was so important, and to only use Yoho and Anderson and McGee aside from Ashby, virtually the entire Brewers bullpen is available tomorrow. And I think that was great managing by Pat Murphy, despite losing that second game big. Ashby's available to go again tomorrow. He only faced 2 batters. Or maybe Jared Cannick gets a day off, but he's been scuffling as of late. I just want to commend that this bullpen is in really, really good shape, and Trevor McGill and Abner Uribe didn't need to pitch today. So they're super fresh to pitch in tomorrow's contest.
I agree with you. I think that 5th inning that Freddie went out there, I thought he threw the ball really well. And I think that gave that incentive to Murph to say, hey, you know what? If I can get one more inning out of Freddie, he's thrown the ball so well. He's been aggressive. It looks like this is a game he has under control. That this will really put us in a really good position with our bullpen. And to finish this game, which Mears and DL did a nice job. But I'll tell you, that fifth inning, I think, played an important part of how he was able to let Freddie go back out there, and Freddie finished that sixth inning like he did. I thought it was a great position to be in for Freddie to make that a good step, saying that, you know what, I felt comfortable. I'm throwing the ball well. I threw 100 pitches. I still had real good quality control on all my pitches. But that was a big part of the ball game. Him going out that sixth inning and throwing up a 0 meant a lot to this Brewer ball club.
That was huge. I agree with all of that. So tomorrow the stage is set. Night game getaway day. Thanks, New York. But we'll talk about it with you tomorrow. Thanks, Yagi.
Sure, great being with you. Tomorrow's a big ball game. 2 lefties going. Quintana going back to New York where he was for a couple years. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
You can't wait. Should be, and it's a rubber match against 2 playoff caliber teams. What more? It's going to feel like the playoffs on the holiday weekend. We'll hear from the manager, Pat Murphy. That's coming up next on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
With a dedicated Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. For 15 years, we've been serving businesses, organizations, and individuals in the area with a long-standing commitment to the healthcare and not-for-profit sectors. Whether it's expansion to commercial payments, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions to navigate your organization's complex needs. Experience the difference with Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
With over 57 years of experience, family-owned Yutka Fence installs high-quality fencing with residential options, including vinyl, wood, aluminum, chain link, and ornamental fences. Committed to craftsmanship and customer service, Yutka Fence doesn't just build fences, they build relationships based on care, trust, precision, and protecting what matters most. Mention you're a WTMJ fan for 10% off your project. Schedule your free estimate today at yutkafence.com or call 262-859-3226.
At Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber Real Estate Services, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family, and friends in that order. We live that every single day. We move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so our clients win. We operate from a place of gratitude, having donated nearly $200,000 back to our community since 2020. You deserve a team that delivers a luxury experience no matter the price point. Tony Wendorf & Associates, trusted knowledge, superior service. Contact us today at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to adventknows.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Surfside, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka, paired perfectly with the day at the ballpark and stocked at American Family Field all season long. There was one nice defensive play you would expect in 18 innings. There's got to be something good, right?
Out the 2-2. Hit on the ground. Diving stop by the first baseman, Hoskins. He'll get to his feet, take it to the base. About a step to his left, and that ends the inning. Great play by Reese on a hot shot by Brett Beatty. Diving backhanded stop.
That's the defensive play of the game. But then also got to give kudos. Anthony Siegler, congratulations. Your first big league hit came in Game 2, and it extended that rally in the 6th inning for him. So he got that check marked off, and congratulations to Anthony. Another success story of the Brewers scouting department to bring him in after the Yankees cut him loose as a minor league free agent. Now he's a big leaguer. Can't take that away from him. Anyway, Brewers fall in this one by a final of, well, I should say in Game 2 of this one by a final of 7-3. Murph talked after the second game, so mostly focused on that.
He'd have it for one pitch and didn't, and then you could just see the ball wasn't coming out of his fingers the same, you know. And you could see the frustration building, and that's too good of a team and too good of a lineup when you're, you know, these guys are. This is the days you realize how good these guys are, meaning all major league players. It's so tough to perform at the highest level and be consistent, but when you're off a little bit, it can be the difference. And Miz just wasn't in sync.
What do you want him to take away from, like, not just the big inning, but having to go back out, right? And
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he learned his lesson. He's ticked about it. Even some of his sequencing, he's ticked about. He's just really, in a good spot in that. Darn it! Why did this happen? You know what I mean? Like I could have, And it's like he can see it that there's just a really fine line between being dominant and being just okay. And I'm certain he'll learn from it.
Do you think the diminished velocity was a result of being out of sync? Like in the delivery, it just wasn't lining up?
Yeah. Ball wasn't coming off his fingers the same way. It was kind of like one time he'd let it go back here, the next time out here, and you could see he was pushing it sometimes. And, his whole body was not in sync.
Is that sort of going to be the challenge with him early in his career?
When you're 6'12" and you got all the arms and legs, and it's hard to sync it all up. And little things can alter that. So, yeah.
He also had a little bit of bad luck. I mean, that ball off his glove and the terrain was right there.
Yep.
Just spinning.
Yep. I mean, I think that's part of a lot of games when, you walk a guy, did he walk 2 in that inning?
2 outs.
Yeah, he walked 2 with 2 outs, and then that whatever that was, infield hit, and then you got an experienced player that put a great swing on it. So.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what we said, too. So all in agreement there with Pat Murphy about this one today. The other thing to note about Mizorowski's outing is the velo drop, but I think, like we said, that has something to do with the mechanics being out of sync. And there have been studies on this. Saris, who I listen to a lot on The Athletic and read his work on The Athletic and used to read it on Fangraphs, and now him and Derek Van Riper do a great job on Rates and Barrels. And he's talked a lot about the post-home run velo bump. That's a real thing, and it was pretty funny to see after back-to-back homers, and now he's facing Juan Soto, and he's pumping 99 again. It's like, yeah, the adrenaline spikes again, and you got to find it. So when it comes to Miz today, I think the amount of foul balls tells you everything you need to know because, as we've said a million times before, I'll say it again, these are the best hitters in the world. And if it's straight, and if you can eliminate a pitch as a hitter, when you're throwing 100 miles an hour, if you can eliminate, all right, he doesn't have a slider today, I'll be able to see it out of the hand. Or, his changeup hasn't been thrown for a strike, just eliminate it, don't swing. They're going to time you up. And they're going to time up 97 a whole lot easier than they can time up 101. And I think that's all what went into today's outing. Now, you can succeed with 97 if you're hitting your spots. You can't succeed with 97 down the middle. And that's the big leagues. He'll learn to transition from being a pitcher, from being a thrower to become a pitcher one day. And he'll be fine. First clunker, no big deal. This is somebody that the Brewers are going to be very smart and patient and careful with. And the Brewers have a very important pitching plan to update you with. Got a rehabber, got an weekend of rotation maybe to speculate on. We'll talk about all that coming up next as our final segment rolls on here on Brewers Extra Innings on 620 WTMJ.
From the post-game show to the morning show, there's no rest for baseball and Dominic Cotroneo.
I was like a kid on Christmas Eve. I couldn't sleep last night. I was just so excited to get ready to watch games that count.
Dominic Cotroneo is our Brewers 360 guest every Monday morning at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
There are some roster decisions I do want to break down here, and then we'll get into the lineup.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the July Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want And in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases. And it's free. Stop in today and save now during the Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders, and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, cider.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
All right, final segment of the program here. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Thanks for listening. If you're in podcast form after a long day of baseball, appreciate you as well. We'll be right back here tomorrow night. In fact, we got a show every night this week with the night game tomorrow, 6:10 Central Time. Then 6:10 on Friday in Miami, 3:10 Saturday, and then 12:40 on Sunday. Then it's home for the Dyers coming up next week. Quick note on the farm, Nestor Cortez. He started his minor league rehab assignment today. 3 shutout innings with the Nashville Sounds. 37 pitches, I believe, was the final total. Pulling it up. Stand by. Oh, my gosh. Should have had this ready. 37 pitches, 25 strikes. A fastball velo topped out at 92, right where it's supposed to be. So good news there for Nestor Cortez. He's still a ways away, but to see him already showing signs that he's going to be fine is certainly welcome. And it's not official yet, but speculation breeds the thought that with today's doubleheader and Quintana going tomorrow and then having Chad Patrick still on the roster indicates that what the Brewers are planning on doing is, we'll find out tomorrow, Quinn Priester on Friday against the Marlins, Chad Patrick one more time on Saturday, and then it could be Chad on the way out to make room for Brandon Woodruff. But then if you want to look ahead here, and we've been talking about limiting Jacob Misiorowski's innings, and the Brewers are trying to find ways to make sure he doesn't get overworked. And today's doubleheader kind of throws a wrench into things because what they could do is come Sunday when Woodruff makes his return, you could have Freddie go on normal rest on the 5th day on Monday against the Dodgers. Then that would line up Miz on Tuesday against the Dodgers. And because of the off day on Thursday, you technically would not need Jacob Misiorowski to make another start until after the All-Star break. And then you could be gentle with his innings. Furthermore, what the Brewers could do, let's just go ahead and speculate it out here for you. Quintana tomorrow, Thursday. Priester Friday. Then Patrick Saturday, Woodruff Sunday, Freddie Monday, Misiorowski Tuesday, Quintana Wednesday, off. Priester Friday, Woodruff Saturday, Freddie Sunday, All-Star break. That could happen. I could see that happening. Then, of course, today the starters were announced for the All-Star game. No Brewers made that cut, but every team gets one representative. I think Freddie Peralta certainly made his case known that, hey, I can certainly deserve to be an All-Star here in 2025. It would be his second career All-Star nod for Freddie. I hope it happens for him. Pitchers are announced usually the week of. It would be his first All-Star. He should have been on the initial roster in 2021. He got added on there late. I thought he had a decent case last year, but did not make that either. Could be his second All-Star for him. Kurt Hogue wrote a great story in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel just polling the clubhouse who should be the All-Star. So you should go check that out wherever newspapers are sold or online at Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. So that is going to do it for our program here tonight. Brewers split a doubleheader. Rubber game tomorrow. Our coverage will begin at 5:35. Our producer is Matt Yazel. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Until next time, keep on swinging.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scavini here to talk about my brand new show,